So today I'm going to be going over how to swap the bearings, the stock bearings, in your Gen 4 Revo S. This will be the same procedure in any of the Gen 4 or Gen 3 Revos, regardless of the gearing or the handedness. I prefer left hand. I cast right-handed, but I reel left-handed. I don't understand, really, honestly, why some guys prefer to cast and then switch their hands and then reel with their right. I don't get that. But hey, that's neither here nor there to the point of this video. So, some people care for ceramic bearings, some people don't. I have some ceramic bearings in some of my reels. I have some in others. I just don't bother with them. I've more tried some of them just for novelty. I've tried Boca bearings and I've tried Spool Speed, and I think I prefer the Spool Speed a little bit better, to be honest. Just the fact that they're a tad bit cheaper, and the fact that the orange seals aren't in it to begin with. And I'll get on that. So let's show you what you get when you pay your I believe it's about $25 from Spool Speed. You get three bearings. You get the seals for them if you so choose to use them, and you get the little Mylar bags that come in, and of course you get a cool sticker to go put on your nail gene bottle or something. I've had these bearings in other reels before. Specifically, actually, I've had them in this one before, and I like them. I prefer them. It gives you a nice smooth cast, but I haven't put the sticker on anything. So what do you get? You get three bearings. You're going to have more than that. Obviously, the Revo S has 9 in there. I've never swapped out every single tiny itty bitty bearing in a reel. I know you can go on Boca bearing, you can go on AliExpress, you can go on a bunch of different reel fishing reel bearing websites and get the most minute ones. Like I said, this one's got 9 in it. It's got 1 on the side plate. It's got 1 on the spool tension nub. It's got 1 on the other side of the spool. It's got, I believe, it's got 1 in the bottom of the housing here. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Another one up here, 5, 6, 7. It's got 1 for the worm gear. I don't know where they're all at. You can look up the schematic and see where they're at. But these 3 are the only ones that are really going to deal with your casting. And the reason why the ceramic ones is the ceramic ones are harder. They're a little bit smoother. They make a great deal more noise, though. I will say that, especially with having the seals off them. They make a great deal of noise. So if you're someone who's easily annoyed by real noise, I will tell you, I don't think the performance you get out of ceramic bearings is worth the annoyance you're going to get out of it. That's if you're a person who cares about the noise. Me personally, I find the noise of a fishing reel to be very soothing. Some people, they hate it. For those people, you just save your money, and there you go. All right, so let's get into it. So what you're going to need is you can do most of this tools free. You can change these out tools free if you so choose to. I'll show you how. You take off the side plate here, right where it says open. It comes and lifts out. Let's see if I can keep that in frame there. All right, so you can do this tool free, but I prefer to use tools. So the first thing you do is you take this tab here where it says open, and you lift the side plate out. That's going to be your first bearing right there. Pull the spool out. Oh, I got her all gummed up with the masking tape. Hold on. There we go. A little bit too much masking tape there. There we go. Let's just peel that off. A little prohibitive. All right, that's going to be your second spool. Sorry, that's going to be your second bearing right there. Did I say spool before? That's going to be your first bearing. That's going to be your second bearing. All right. And then your third bearing is underneath the spool tension knob here. Now, like I said, with the exception of, I take that back. Exception of this pin right here, you can do pretty much all of these pretty toolless. I don't recommend it. So the tools I prefer to use is a number 0 screwdriver, small precision screwdriver. You can pick these up anywhere. I think I got this one. I've had these ones for over a decade. I can tell you that right now. Some kind of small prying tool. These ones with a small fine point. See if we can get that there. With a small fine point or something like that. I got this kit set. There's like 3 more of these kind of like this from Harbor Freight. They're worth it for getting these spring clips out. A 10mm open end box end wrench is good for getting this off of. You're going to need the 0 screwdriver for that. Box end open wrench for this 10mm. You can swap this out without tools. You can swap the spool tension knob bearing out without tools. However, it is kind of a pain in the butt because this moves on you constantly and it doesn't move smoothly because there's no longer an even pressure on the output. So it gets jammed up and the stars get in the way. I find it's just a lot easier to go ahead and have the proper tools to take this off and to remove the knob and to remove the star drag and just get access to this. I got kind of bigger fingers, so it can get cumbersome. I've done it before. When I have my druthers, though, I prefer the tools. And last but not least, what you're going to absolutely need a tool for is this spool bearing right here. You need some kind of tool to get this pin out right here. It's flared, so this side is bigger than the other. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. But the side towards your right is going to be bigger than the side towards your left. Now, obviously, it's going to change depending on the orientation of the spool. There's the tools for these are about $6 and they come overseas. I invested in a $40 pair of the Boca bearing pliers I found on Amazon. Are they worth $40 or not? They're the only one of their kind as far as I know. So that's why they're able to charge $40 for them. They're probably more in the realm of a $10 to $20 pair of pliers, to be honest. But they're not manufactured in any kind of great economy of scale, nor are they widely available by other manufacturers. So they're $40. I bought them with a group, a package deal, if you will, when I bought my first set of Boca bearing, the Boca bearing orange steel bearings for another Abu Garcia reel I got. And it was cheaper to spend, I think it was $60 for the pliers and those other 3 bearings as opposed to buying these separate. And I like them. The only clean up with them is they've gotten some use on them and they kind of hang up right there, this little stud that helps them come out right there. If you don't have this, a far cheaper option is to get the ones that you twist, and by twisting it pushes this pin out, and then you use the same twisting motion to push the tool back in. I prefer these for the time and convenience, and honestly that might be worth the $40, the $35 difference right there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, and one that's super easy, this is the easiest one, is the one that's going to be in your side plate, is going to be the bearing here in the side. And if you notice how it fits in there, is it's got a little spring clip that expands outward, and it's held in tension in a little groove in there that clamps in and it holds out. Put your thumb over there firmly and securely. Let's see, I'll give you time to focus on that. There we go. See if I can keep this in frame. And put the tip there. This is where a nice sharp tip on these comes in handy. Yeah, you see how that jumped out? Even with my thumb finger there, it still jumped out. At least it was secured by the magnets there. I go ahead and I secure them something magnetic just to keep it from floating around. All right, let's go ahead and pull this out. Now, some people prefer to use an end of a Q-tip for that. I find it doesn't really quite swell enough. I don't really care for it. Now, what you will want to do is you are going to want to clean this out because the stock bearings are oiled. There's going to be oil in here. You really don't need to oil ceramic bearings. If anything, the viscosity of any kind of oil, even a light viscosity oil like gear oil, is going to actually inhibit the movement. So you want to run them dry. And for cleaning these out, Q-tip does work pretty good. Give it a couple runs around there. I've cleaned these out pretty good before, and they're pretty dry, you know, so there's not really a lot of staining there. So she's good. Alright, so we go ahead and we select the appropriate size ceramic speed spool bearing. We know it's that one because it's not sealed, unlike the stock ones. Go ahead and drop it on in there, like so. Alright, let's go ahead and take your clip and put it into that groove there. Holding your thumb down there on it, and use your tool to gently push this down into the groove. If you can see that, you're just kind of lifting it into place. You got like 5 little corners there. Kind of do them one at a time as you go around, and it stays in. You'll have to do the similar thing on the spool tension knob. Alright, so that one's done. Using the Boca bearing tool or the bearing replacement pliers, I don't remember what the name is. Like I said, this is flanged. So what you want to push up on with this little divot is you want to align. Let me get you in frame better. You want to align that with the top here. And you want to align the bottom with that there. Go ahead and just kind of push it out. There we go. And go ahead, she's still going to hang on a little bit. Go ahead and just use the pliers here. Like I said, they kind of bind up a little bit. So $40, right? All right. Go ahead. You can put them down there. You can put them in the bin if you want. Go ahead and take same size as over there. Go ahead and drop it on. One quick thing, let's just do a comparison. So you got your stock bearings here. I don't know if you guys can really see that, because you can't really see the races. I don't know if it's showing up on the quality of the camera. It almost instantly stops. There's the ceramic ones. Go a little bit longer. Like I said, it doesn't just go bzzz like some of them, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is it's just a slightly bit smoother. And you see all these reviews of people using various ceramic bearings and high-grade bearings, and they're testing them via distance, and that's all well and good. I enjoy watching those. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to mechanical things, but distance isn't necessarily going to equate to better fishing. What equates to better fishing with a reel that's running smoother bearings is better cast control, and that's what you're actually going after. So if you notice, going back to you have these grooves right here on the pliers. All right, you sit there and you channel on the far ones here. This is a smaller reel, so you just sit there and you kind of clamp that down like so, and it's on there. There you go. 2 out of 3. Ain't bad, just like Meatloaf said. Alright, so let's knock this last one out. Size 0. You take... Oh, she wants to chatter a little bit. Make sure you're firm in there. Don't want to strip that out. Take that there. Take this little flange off. Should lift up pretty easy. There we go. And then, last but not least, I'm trying to remember left-hand reels. Is it the same way? It doesn't take a lot of pressure. Yeah. There you go. It's right to loosen on a left-hand reel. Take that off. Lift the handle up. And that makes it a lot easier to get in here. Go ahead and loosen this up. Just go ahead and lift it up gently. There's an O-ring in here that keeps it sealed. Whoopsie daisy. In here you have, now all the Revos, I think Abu's like the only company that does this. $100 price point gets you a spool tension knob that clicks. So you have these components here. Go ahead and just lay those down right there. And look what you got there. You got the same thing that you had on the side plate. Go ahead, keep your finger over it. And go ahead and just peel away on one side. Gently pull it out. There you go. Now, go ahead and just pull that out like so. And just go ahead and drop your replacement in. Take your spring, put it back on. Oh, see what I mean about it popping out? Like I said, you can take this off. I just kind of leave it on there. Go ahead, you got your one side in. Boom. Drops right on in. Make sure she's seated in there. There you go. Okay, so if you notice, you have two indentations here. The black plastic clicker, for lack of a better technical term. These two outlets, little nipples or whatever, they line up on that. Hard to do this while looking at it through the aperture. There you go. Take this little metal leaf spring thing is what is clicking against that. Drop it in there. Make sure it's seated all the way down there. And then just go ahead and replace it. Make sure you don't cross thread the knobs when you go back on. I like to backen it out until it sits flush, and there we go. And there you go. Go ahead and put your reel handle back on. Alright, go ahead and get this on. Be very careful. They're kind of coarser threads. They're easy to cross thread, especially with it not being continuous around that knob handle. It's actually kind of a pain in the ass on the Gen 4 Revos. On the Gen 3s, I can honestly say this part was a little bit easier with the knob, simply because I think the threads were just ever so slightly better. Just give it just a little bit. You're not reaching on this. This is only tiny little bits of aluminum. Just give it a little bit. Alright, don't even put your hand all the way around it. If you want to know a little trick, this is what I do because I strip stuff all the time. I only use a couple fingers on small teleminer bolts, especially when they're like aluminum or some kind of aluminum alloy. Go ahead and put your keeper on. You got a small hole right there. Just go ahead and drop that in right there. Line up. Go ahead and put that on there. Again, you don't have to go too hard. Don't want to chatter it. Just go firm enough that it won't back out. And there you go. You got all the real spools done. You go ahead and just put your spool back in there. Put your side plate back on. And just like that, you are good to hook. Anyways, hope that made sense. Nothing really out of the normal. Thanks for watching.